street in my 6'4".
Hey, that was dope, eh? That shit was dope, man. You a genius.
What's N.W.A. stand for, anyway? No whites allowed? Something like that?
No. Niggas with attitudes.
Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. From the gang called Niggas with Attitudes.
Rap group N.W.A. shocked the world with their honest account of life on the rough streets of Compton in LA.
You know, we had the influx of gangbanging. Crack cocaine was new in the 80s. Daryl Gates, who was our police chief, had considered a war on gangs, which was really a war on young black youth that looked like gang members. So it was pretty hard.
Your songs, they glamorize gangs and drugs.
Our art is a reflection of our reality.
The Rodney King beating was a shocker.
Guys like you change shit like this.
Their debut album, Straight Outta Compton, was revolutionary for its explosive social commentary at a time when gang culture, drugs and police brutality were rife.
Last year, the televised thrashing of Rodney King burned itself into the national consciousness. The jury decision to acquit the police who beat him triggered the Los Angeles riots of April 29. It was the worst civil disturbance in modern American history.
When you're dealing with a police department who has targeted, you know, your youth or your friends, family members, what do? You know, how do you fight back against that?
This is a threat, guys, from the federal government.
Speak a little truth and people lose their minds.
The performance of the song, F the Police, will not be permitted.
They try to tell us what the fuck we can't play. This is NWA.
We didn't want to go out in the street with guns, weapons, Molotov cocktails. We didn't want to burn down our neighborhood. We didn't want to do any of that. Yeah. We wanted to make a record. We wanted to give people somewhat of a verbal weapon and not, you know, a physical weapon.
Their most controversial song, Fuck the Police, was banned from radio stations around the world.
Every nigga is selling narcotics.
To me, the song was poignant and, you know, we're not talking about all police, you know. Yeah. We actually love the police. If somebody broke in our house, we would call the police. Yeah. We're talking about the police who step over the line. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the police who are out of control. Yeah. We talk about the police who abuse their authority. Yeah. Those are the ones that all society should want to get off the force.
There is growing outrage tonight after an unarmed African-American teenager was shot and killed by police in the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson, Missouri.
America's recent cases of police brutality prove that things scarily haven't changed.
Hands in the air, being compliant, he gets shot in his face and chest and goes down and dies.
You started to feel it on set, like it's the movie's importance hit a different level. You know, we're doing the riot scenes in Detroit and the riot scenes in LA, and then you go home and Ferguson's on the TV. The whole hands up movement is starting. It's a film that's talking about the past, but it's still talking about the present. But it's a matter of people in positions of power abusing that power before NWA, during NWA, and sadly way after NWA.
Yeah, I was just talking about it.
While it's a box office success, the film has been criticised for ignoring fellow band member Dr.Dre's alleged acts of violence against women.
When you're trying to put 10 years into 2 hours, there's no way to get everything in there.
So were there conversations about whether or not to include some of the darker stuff from Dr. Dre's past, for example?
Yeah, we had those conversations, you know, and, you know, we left out even darker things. We have a laundry list of things we couldn't put in the movie that, you know, probably should have been in there. But what's in there is so great. I think you know, people are being really nitpicky, you know, because what we put in the movie, to me, is the story of NWA.
I'm keen to get your thoughts on this just because there's such a conversation about gun laws at the moment in the States. Gangster rap references gun culture a lot. Do you think it's overly emphasised?
You know, I think You know, I don't think it's overly emphasized because there's a lot of guns in our neighborhood. So what we're doing is basically being a mirror of what's happening on the ground. America is obsessed and overflooded with guns. I think it's something that we got to get a hold of because, you know, you just can't put a gun in everybody's hand. You know, that's just not good for society.
I'm expressing with my full capabilities, and now I'm living in correctional facilities.
The world has no censors. You know, they want us to censor our music, but when I walk out my front door, the world is raw. Yeah. The world is in your face and it's vivid. Yeah. And the music should be the same way. I think it's really about being yourself and expressing yourself.